Redditors who were born deaf, do subtitles like dogs barking and tense music help even if you've never heard them? What do you imagine them to be like? I'm deaf and it helps in certain contexts. If it's just a shot of a farm and it says dog barking, it's out of context, so it's like whatever. But if it says dog barking to warn the person, it definitely helps in that context. It also depends on how good the subtitles are. Netflix is superb at doing subtitles, but cable TV is that good, so by the time the subtitles come up it's already a different scene or different convo. I love Netflix awesome subtitles. My auditory processing and listening comprehension suck, so I prefer TV and movies with subtitles. Netflix is way better than most. ADHD 2. Subtitles are awesome for staying focused on a show. Yes, this. I have ADHD and I always have subtitles on. Especially if there's any other noise going on around me. It makes it way easier to stay on track with the show even if my ears aren't processing everything. I always like having subtitles on. I never considered it might be due to my ADHD. I don't have ADHD, but I love watching with subtitles on. Make sure I correctly hear what they're saying. Same. The only time they're bad is during stand-up routines when the captions come up before the delivery. That's the only time we have them off. Yes, they help. Movies, TV shows, games, etc. use sound to convey emotions or danger or information and so on. By not subtitling those, deaf people miss out on a lot. I was playing the Fable franchise recently, and apparently there's gargoyles in the game that insult you and goad you into shooting them or something. I would have never known if I hadn't read about it, because those insults aren't subtitled. I didn't even know gargoyles were a thing until I was nearly done with Fable 2. To answer your question, I don't imagine them as sounds, that's impossible to do. I imagine the emotions they were meant to convey. Dogs barking means there's something disturbing them. Tense music means shit is getting real. Other things like phone rings tells us what noise the people in the scene are responding to. Subtitling everything 100% helps. I'm deaf. It definitely brings the story to life. Deaf people are incredibly visual, we want as much information as possible. If the storyteller is insisting on certain sounds or music to evoke feelings, then I would also like to know and have those feelings, too. Edit, holy moly, the conversations y'all are having under this are amazing. What's crazy is while I read your comment, I hear my voice in my head reading the words you wrote. I don't suppose that works for you at all, does it? I'm not trying to be ignorant, I'm just curious. Also, I can't help but feel sad at your comment because I never realized how someone might feel left out over things I never think to consider. My old friend's mom was deaf. I asked her once and she kinda shrugged and said I imagine ominous music to be like when my kids sneak up on me. I really hope this comment moves to the top, most helpful one so far. Upvoting is the general process to accomplish this goal. I really hope your explanation of how things move up moves up. I really hope your hope that his explanation on how things move up moves up moves up. I have lost hope, but still I upvote. I'm deaf and it helps. I haven't heard a dog bark, but I understand why a dog barks and combine that with the body language of a dog and the scene makes more sense. Do you have an opinion on what is music? I can wrap my head on how I would try to imagine what music sound like if I never heard anything in my life. Music is like the tactile vibrations you feel on your fingers, except it has color, warmth, and depth. I love this. What a wonderful way of describing it. I'm moderately hearing impaired, but not deaf, so this doesn't quite answer your question, but I thought I'd chime in. I really appreciate these kinds of subtitles, as they can add context and help communicate something non-visual that the show or movie creator wanted the audience to pick up on. The sound of a dog barking may be the only hint they give that a family owns a dog, which becomes a plot point later. Tense music can prime the audience, me, to be on edge despite a scene otherwise seeming calm and relaxed. Mad respect to whoever's in charge of Netflix's subtitles, because they are absolutely top-notch. Like if you have a character sitting in the kitchen reading a book, and suddenly they yell "shut up." It would have been nice if the subtitles had dogs barking beforehand. I yell "shut up" out of the blue to let the ghosts around me know I'm tired of their shit. Yeah, sometimes I yell "shut up" out of the blue to let the goats around me know I'm tired of their shit. Ducking goats. Terrible roommates. Take my upgoat. Really funny, guys. Get out of here with those puns. Are you kidding? Take my upvote, you silly kid. I read on Reddit once before deaf people don't even realize erections make a noise. I've been wondering this lately also. I started using closed captions so I don't have to have the TV volume blasting all the time, and now I'm addicted to closed captions. Indistinct chatter. I know, right? There's something about subtitles that tails the pressure off of watching TV, and I don't have to miss any dialogue because the music is too loud. I have the problem that my eyes are subconsciously drawn to the subtitles because they have a high contrast, and I miss a lot of what's going on screen because I stare at the subs all the time. I've been a fast reader my whole life. Sometimes I feel like I'm 5 seconds ahead, so that really messes with me. Same. This and the subtitles being so in your face, I'm spoiled from what's gonna be said. ITT, not a single deaf person and a bunch of stupid assholes speculating. I used to work in subtitling and both my parents are completely deaf, so I know a bit about this. Subtitles like dog barking do help, as they are usually included if they are plot relevant, hence they can follow it better, and understand why someone looked up from their book in the show or whatever. Tense music and the like does not really help much beyond telling them the mood of the scene, as they have no real conception of what sound is, which answers your second question. My mum compares it to trying to explain color to a blind person. The things that confuse me most is when it says something like Vivaldi's mandolin concerto plays, that's so useless even compared to tense music plays. I actually like this as a partially hearing person because I like immediately being able to identify a piece I think I might know but I'm not sure, or if I want to know the name of a song I just discovered, or name of a song I didn't know the name of at all. Smile. I wear bilateral cochlear implants, so I don't think I completely qualify to answer, but I will say that sometimes I miss important details in the sounds and music in TV shows and movies, and it does really help to set the tone of the movie for me and understand things I wouldn't otherwise if I hadn't heard the specific thing. Do you get trouble from the deaf community because of your implants? I used to work for a relay company, Triska 6262 MGA, and they told us that the deaf community was kinda hostile to the implants because having them implied that not being able to hear was a bad thing. Honestly, I'm only 19 and I went to hearing schools my entire life, so I haven't had much exposure to the deaf community. However, I am aware that it is controversial, but it was done when I was a baby, so I didn't have much say and it was what the doctors recommended. Therese, definitely a medicalization of the deaf community that I don't agree with, but I also believe in freedom of choice, and if someone wants to get cis or not, it's up to them. It may provide helpful context. Like if said noise is relevant to the plot even if they don't know what it sounds like, it may help with overall comprehension of the storyline to know that at this time a dog barked. A random hashtag shut up is way better if it has dogs barking before it. Hi. I'm deaf, but I actually knows what they sound like. I listens through vibrations. Like Toph did with her earth bending in Atla, so I know most of basic sounds, and I always appreciate seeing subtitles like those examples for contexts. 'Cause it can be harder for me to decipher sounds from the television. Hello Redditors who are hearing impaired, I'd like to ask, how do jump scares affect you? A big part of it is sudden loud noises that accompanies the scary imagery. Since you don't hear the building tense music nor the sudden loud one, does that take away from you experiencing jump scares? Many at-home movie watchers will tell that the key to not being as scared is to turn down, if not mute, the volume of a scary movie when you know the jump scare is coming. My stepbrother is deaf and he tells me that when stuff comes on TV like that he will look it up online and feel the vibrations so that he can understand what means. I haven't seen a single deaf response in this comment section. Deaf person here. These types of subtitles help set the mood and provide some sort of foreshadowing to events that might occur. For example, when watching a horror movie, a hearing person might leave as a cue once they hear eerie music. As a deaf person who's not a huge fan of horror movies, I cannot tell you how many times I'm so grateful for subtitles like that. Think of it like constant jump scare smile.